Let's see. Copy. Let's see if she can figure this out. Okay. Oh, be careful. The woman doesn't have the last name Thompson, does she? You said doesn't have the last name Thompson?
No. She's a McCray or a McCurry. I'm wanting to say Lisa. I'm not for sure. But I pulled her address up before, but my phone now it won't let me pull. It just don't say who lives there. It wants me to pay for it. Shit. Every time I try to text it, because I pulled it up before and found out. She found out who their ties was somehow.
Mm-hmm.
One woman. Crystal, she found out some of their ties.
And what is she talking about the Lopez thing? Like she was giving a hard time about Lopez. I don't know what she's talking about. She's like, you should have asked that person about. I was like, I thought I did ask them, and I just didn't say anything. I don't.
See, the Thompsons one that hollered they was afraid to come out and stuff, you know.
Afraid to come out.
Yeah, and talk to anybody on YouTube or anything like that. Remember, because people was trying to get them to come out and say that he was on the road by their camera and stuff.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to get involved and this and this and this.
Add to stream. She's here. Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good.
Can you hear me good?
Do you want?
Okay, let me get my glasses. You're kind of small.
We were
Okay.
We were talking. Me and Fred were just talking about it because the Thompsons and their exchange student situation and all those kids that they have. Can you hear me?
Very little. Hold on. Let me switch ear things. Are you there?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you really good. Hopefully, you can hear me good.
I can just a little. Um. This is terrible.
So I'm guessing you haven't sent this to law enforcement then?
Speakerphone. Do what, hun?
Have you sent this to law enforcement?
Yes. Starting in 2022, at least twice a year, I would contact them. Usually, like in the beginning of the year, and then
Do you just
yeah,
email it or what?
the what, hun?
Would you just email? Or how would you contact them?
Sig, I'm having a really hard time.
Would you email them
Did I email them?
or call? Okay.
Um, I did email. The first year I emailed TBI, which I was a bit reluctant to do that because, like I said, I don't trust them. And I emailed FBI. The following year, and since I did reach out to Hawkins County one time, just one time. I don't trust them at all.
No. Um, Lawson's son is his church, or he has been on a lot of missionary things, and he's tied to the Thompsons and all that stuff and all that. So I feel like you could be on to something here. This is I'm trying to think what else I can. I was trying to read Dawn's letter, but it's so difficult to read. I don't know, his writing is
Right.
crazy.
He really did. He didn't answer any of my questions, which I knew not to ask him too many because he's a narcissist and they don't like to answer questions at all. They take you on a dance, which is what Don does all the time. Okay, it's
Right.
part of their strategy. And I know because I got one of my own, so I know how they do. Okay, I know how they speak
Right.
and the games that they play. So I spotted Don right away, and he didn't answer any of my questions. I didn't ask him too many. I did want to know who the man from also Norway was. When he got there, was he there when Summer disappeared? You know, um, did he
Did he
think?
tell you?
No, he wouldn't. He never answered nothing. He just, which I was surprised that he even wrote me back. But I
Yeah.
thought, I thought when I wrote him, I'm gonna feel him out. He
Yeah.
may write me back. He may not write me back. He probably won't. But I'll give it a shot. And he did. And but he never answered any questions. Took me on a little dance in the direction he wanted me to go in. And, the only thing he said that pertained to what I had written in my letter to him was that he found my letter to be exceptional and true. Well, what part's true, Don? You
Right.
know,
Did
what
you
part
copy
is
your
true?
letter? Did you copy the
Huh?
letter you sent? Did you copy the letter you sent
My
him?
the letter I sent to him, I saved it in my computer. It was there. And then I went back and it dumped stuff out after I think 30 days and I wasn't able
Oh.
to find it. or
Mm-hmm.
I would have printed it out a copy for myself, you know.
Right. Right. So your
But
vision. Um. Hold on. I'm gonna go back here. The dogs are barking now. Of course. Um. Your vision. Let me turn off the oven before it burns. And then, so I did a tarot reading. I did a tarot reading on what you said, and it fits like completely. Um, like I was getting, it looked like I know that there's an exchange. I know there was an exchange. I'm open to who she was handed off to. Um, I do believe that money went to drug debt. I still believe that. But yeah, they had to get. I'm sure they got money for that illegal. If it was an illegal adoption.
mhm. Well, they do have a thing called gray market adoption, not black market, gray market.
Oh,
And
really?
think about what Don said. There is no evidence. You're not going to find any. There isn't any. There isn't any evidence. Well, gray market adoption is nothing more than pretty much shaking of the hand, verbal agreement. There is no paperwork. And that is not against the law. Now you make that make sense.
Wow.
Pretty much, I'm going to give Ziggy my son because I'm tired of dealing with him, and she can
Yeah.
claim ownership of him and call it a day.
Yeah. I believe though that Don and Candace were paid. I believe Don at least was paid, and I think that the connection to, yeah, I believe, and I think it was Andy and Don's debt. I still believe that because Andy was on the road. We know Andy was on the road. That has to fit somewhere. So
Hmm.
why was he on the road? We believe he's very connected to the Thompsons who had that exchange student. And that's something that Fred always brought up, how weird it was with those the Thompsons having exchange students up there.
Right.
And they had every twice a year. And the Thompsons are real connected to the Redmonds and real connected to the Bernards. Um, so I mean, and but still, like, maybe it wasn't through the SDA. I don't know where Tim Mullins come from. That's
Hmm.
probably would be our answer.
Can you put your camera down a little bit? I only got like the top part of your head. Okay. Yeah, a little bit
Huh.
more. That's it. That's good. That's
Huh.
good.
Oops. I think I messed something up there.
Okay. That's good.
Sorry. On my end it looks it it could you could see all the way up to like my stomach or down to my stomach. So
No, I can only see from like your neck up.
well,
But um I don't know about the Thompsons and all that stuff. I'm not going to discredit what you're saying. There's
mhm,
definitely something going on in that area. Definitely. Okay.
mhm,
I could be wrong. Strongly feel that church is connected to this because
mhm,
I got a bad feeling about them right off the bat, just like a lot of other people. Okay. And like I said, I got to digging into them. I saw the videos of the little kids that they were giving out for people in their congregation. And the Hope House bull crap. When I read that reply to the woman who went there, she had 5 children, just had a baby. There was no baby daddies in the picture by the sound of it. And she needed help with food and electric bill, whatever. And so she goes to the Hope House asking for help. And she said she had been there all day trying to get help for her and her children. And the only thing that they were interested in was her signing over her baby that she just had. They kept trying to get her to sign papers. And she
Oh,
told them no. And they said, well, we ain't have no help for you. Now, what kind of a church is that?
yeah.
You, my
Wow.
child, and I won't sign it over to you. So you're going to refuse to give me any food or money to pay my rent or anything to help me and my children. And I was like, something's wrong here. Something is
Right.
very, very wrong. That is
Right.
when I found the Georgia Tan story. I don't know if you got dug into that or not.
No, I haven't.
It
I didn't know.
happened in it happened in Tennessee. It was
Hmm.
it was in the 1950s. Okay. This woman, her name Georgia Tan, she wanted to become a lawyer or a judge or something, and back then, women weren't allowed to have that kind of position. Her father was a judge. So instead, she got into the orphanage bullcrap, child services,
Right.
and she wound up taking it over. This is in Tennessee, and she opened up an orphanage, and she used to have people what else, okay. She had foot soldiers on the ground that would go around and snatch kids. She would go and take children herself, say that she was taking them to get medical assistance or whatever for the family and never bring them back. Um, she was having these children stolen, okay, and what helped her out and had this been successful for quite a while was the fact that she had lawyers, judges, doctors, teachers, hospital staff in her corner. And
Wow.
matter of fact, Joan Crawford, you know who Joan Crawford is?
Yes.
Okay, Joan Crawford adopted her twin daughters from Georgia Tan.
Oh, really? Wow.
But it's a very interesting read. Okay, but it happened in Tennessee, and they were all everybody in every position was on board with this, and they knew the children were being stolen. Okay, and many of them died under her care. She wound up dying of cancer just before they were able to charge her. All right.
Wow.
And I was like, so they have a history of this being done.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then, if you got a church that is, and when I found out about the church and the adoption crap, I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. The government took that crap away from religion because of all the horror stories many years ago. I didn't know if they flipped it back or not. Okay, so now we got a church that's doing adoptions, and they're doing adoptions internationally. Well, when I found the story in the Norway news of the woman telling her story about being stolen from Sri Lanka and transported to Oslo, Norway, and she became an advocate for a lot of people there that realized that they had been adopted and they wanted to find their real families. So she was helping them, and she helped close down a couple of these shady orphanage places. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, this can't, what the hell did I stumble into? You
Yeah.
know, something's not right here.
Yeah.
And I know there are a lot of people who do not want to believe that the church is involved. Well, obviously, you have not been paying attention to churches. All right? Churches are the worst ones when it
Yep.
comes to stuff like this. All right? Who sticks around?
Yep.
Pay attention. There's two things you pay attention to in something like this: who comes in and who walks away. That'll tell you who you need to keep your eyes on. All right?
Yeah.
People walked away from Ben Hill Road, didn't they?
Yep.
And people came in to Ben Hill Road. And who came in? Trying to control Robin Lane and David Dotson. But David Dotson got his ass out of there real quick.
Yeah.
Okay? So I believe that
And most,
Tim Mullins was brung in by the church to help Robin with this situation so she wouldn't have to deal with it for herself. They had to keep Candace and Don in control. Though they didn't do too good of a job, but they had to try and keep them under control because they are involved. They helped place Summer. Okay?
I'm
And if I talk too much, I apologize.
no, you're good. I'm wanting to look into I have Tim Mullins. I want to look into like his history and if he has any connection, if I can find anything.
Mm-hmm.
And adoption rings are connected to other countries. I'm pretty sure that he has he done has he done hasn't he done missionary work?
What'd you say?
Has he not done missionary work?
He used to travel. I know that. Whether he done missionary work, I don't know, but I know Robin did in other countries. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, she went to Brazil with her first husband. That's where he was from. Now, somebody came out with a picture of her supposedly in the John of God compound. Do you know John of God?
Who?
John of God.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I don't know if this is true. Okay, but somebody found a picture of a woman. It's a little blurry, but
Hmm.
they found a picture of a woman who did resemble Robin Lane. okay, on John of God's compound. John of God is connected to Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey did a special going to John of God's compound and talking about how he was, I don't know what the hell she called him, some kind of a healer or seer or something. All right. When in actuality, John of God was holding these women prisoner on this compound and impregnating them and
Oh
then
my God.
selling the babies.
Wow.
Okay. And now, and this was in Brazil. Robin Lane did live in Brazil with her first husband. Was that Robin Lane in that picture? I don't know. But she was known to do charity work for other countries.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going. Let's see. I think I found. Okay, here is. Or I was looking up. Okay. Tim Mullins. He was born. His dad. I was just looking for where they're originally from and stuff, and like his background. I know that Tim Mullins went to school in Kingsport. Because I know people that went to high school with him.
Mm-hmm.
The Netherlands. I'm reading his obituary, his dad's obituary. And it shows active in the community. He served as president of the Netherlands in Exchange Place Association. What's that? Netherlands. Historic sites. Oh. Anyways, I was trying to see where they're originally from to see if I could find any other connections. I'm going to really look into this to see if I can find. That is stuff. It's definitely. I mean, that would be the best case scenario, actually. That it hopefully a good family that really wanted a child got Summer. Hopefully it was just
Mm-hmm.
somebody who couldn't get one the correct way.
Well, in my vision, if that's what you want to call it,
Mhm.
the sense that I got from that was that it was a husband and wife, a family thing.
Yeah.
She was
So
not
how
harmed. Go ahead.
except drugged. Except she would have been drugged, right?
Yeah, I could feel it. I could feel it. She was drugged. And that was to keep her calm because I have a feeling she wasn't going along with the program, as easily as they had hoped she would in the beginning. But she was drugged because she was fighting to try and keep her eyes open to stay awake.
So in the past, how accurate has your visions been?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat
In
that
the
again?
past, how accurate has your visions been?
It's always been right. It's always been
I just
right, Ziggy. I would not come
I
out
couldn't.
here. I would not come out. Let me tell you, I would not come out here and expose myself. All
Oh,
right,
I won't put you out there like that, anyways, unless you're wanting me to.
to try and make a name for myself. I don't want to be known. Okay, I don't want to be known. I wouldn't. I've seen too much hate and ignorance on YouTube. No,
Right.
and I wouldn't put myself in the middle of something that's so serious as a missing child just to play games. Okay, I'm not a child. And like I said, I know it's hard to believe, but I tried to ignore it. I tried to push it out of my mind, and God would not leave me alone. He wouldn't leave me alone, and I mean, I couldn't take it anymore. Now,
Yeah.
I will tell you, because I didn't want to come out. I didn't want to contact law enforcement. You know,
Right.
you get in trouble. You get in trouble for that shit. So, and I knew they weren't going to believe me. So
Well,
after I started contacting them, and I knew they weren't going to believe me, you know, I thought to myself, okay, how do I get people to listen?
did, did you talk to Cher? Yeah.
Share? No, I don't care for share. All right, I did get. Are you there, Ziggy?
Oops. I don't know what happened.
Are you
Yeah.
there?
Yes.
Okay,
Sorry. Sorry, I must have hit a button. I said Cher only because she covered the SDA church and stuff, and she was really big into um something kind of similar to this. Did you?
okay, and some of her, and this is no lie, and
Yeah.
some of her stuff that she got was from comments that I made in YouTube videos.
Mm,
Okay, like who was it? There's a Don that put out a video, and I made a remark in his comment section that when I was looking into the SDA church and the adoption stuff, I had found web pages where they displayed children with their picture, and you click on one of them that you like, and it shows you their name and all about them. I felt like I was on a thing to buy a puppy.
nah,
No shit.
right.
That's the feeling I got, right? And I even said that. And then I found where they had videos of children walking down a red carpet, dancing down a red carpet in front of an audience of these adults to see if the adults, you know, oh, I like the way she looks, or I like the way he looks, and they
Oh my
take them
god.
home. And they take them home. And if they decided months down the road that it wasn't working out, they could bring them back, no questions asked. And I was like, what the hell are these fucking people? Excuse my language, but I can't believe what I'm seeing here. I cannot believe what you're going to turn a child over, a teenage boy, to a single 40-year-old man because he likes the way he looks walking down the red carpet. And if the boy doesn't work out for him, what do you mean by that? Work
Yeah.
out.
Right.
You can bring him back.
So, are you okay with me talking about this stuff? Uh-oh, are you there? It cut out for a second.
Talking about channels.
What'd you say?
I said through the past 4 years, I have been on a couple YouTube channels.
So
I don't have a problem coming out because I stand behind what I'm
I
saying.
didn't know if you wanted me to mention you or not.
I didn't hear you.
I didn't know if you wanted me to mention you or just to keep you in the
Well,
background.
if you mention anything that I said, they're going to know where you got it. Okay, just
Well,
just like just letting you
well,
know. I
yeah,
don't
but
have a.
there's other things besides what you say that make me believe that it could be, I mean, that whole Thompson thing, that lines up, how they're into all that. There's several things that make me believe it could be possible. So I don't even have to really even say, anything about you if you don't want me to. But
I don't care.
I don't want to steal. I don't want to
I
steal
don't
your
care.
information. If it ever comes out that it's correct, well,
Well,
which,
see, that's why I don't want nobody to know who I am. Because if it does come out correct, and I know you're probably 50-50, and that's fine. I'm 100%. Okay?
mm-hmm,
God has never given me a message that has never come true.
I believe you.
Okay?
I
So
believe you. I did a tarot reading, and
I
I'm
don't
very,
want
very good at tarot.
but I don't want people finding out who I am, and then I got a crowd of people in front of my house. I
Well,
don't want that.
I just don't want you to. I won't. I just don't want you to think I'm taking your information, or I will definitely, because I mentioned it today on my YouTube channel. I did mention that I had something, was talking to somebody about something interesting that I believe could fit. It makes sense it fits the other information we have. The only thing that would be different is this guy who claims that this guy in Kingsport who claims that he had Summer, and that's another thing. Why would this guy that was at the transitions house claimed that his girlfriend was one of the handlers that took care of Summer. So, I just don't understand why people make up stuff like that. If that, you know what I mean? Because I'm guessing she probably went off to Norway from the beginning, if she went to Norway, or if she did go into an adoption ring. I'm guessing, I don't know, was she put in trafficking first? Well, I doubt it. Well, maybe when Don, I mean, I know there was some bad stuff going on, and I know he was going to Knoxville.
Right. Well, see, what I think, and what I think happened was there was stuff going on at 110.
Mm-hmm.
That includes Summer.
Yeah.
And that CPS was involved, and they had to get rid of her. They had to remove her. I believe that they did go through the church with the church's help to place her someplace. All right.
Do you think that he told the church that he had been sexually abusing Summer Wells? I kind of wonder if he did, and was and maybe he kind of told on himself, because he's the type that I feel like would be like trying to get God to forgive him of his sins, and go to the church and admit that he had been abusing her sexually, and they're like, well, let's what if they gave him the adoption? Like, okay, well.
And everybody got mad at me when I brought up about the oldest son.
Oh,
He's in this mess too. Okay.
yeah.
Apple don't fall from the tree.
Right, that's true.
You know what you're taught.
Yeah, and you're probably exactly right. It started at Utah, or maybe it wasn't you that told me that.
Right. That's why he took Josie to Utah, to get him out of the area, because Sherry was threatening to do charges on him, have him put away. Okay. That's why Don wanted to go to Utah. Why would you want to leave your property that you own? You have no bills. to go to Utah, where there ain't nowhere up there you can afford anything, and get in debt to pay rent or a mortgage.
Right. When they have a house paid for in Tennessee, right? They have a
Right.
full.
When you're free.
Right.
Exactly. There was a reeve. Okay, but Mary and them put a foot in his ass and booted him out of there. And that's why he came back. Wasn't because of Jose being there. He could care less. Excuse my French, but they had a fuck fest up there. Okay?
Yeah.
Everything and everybody was you know, in it.
Yeah.
He didn't give
Marlena
he didn't
Crawford. What about
he didn't
Marlena
give
Crawford and her birth certificate? She's probably connected to this adoption ring that you're speaking of.
uh-huh. Yeah, he didn't give a shit what Candace did. Okay? He knew what Candace was doing, and Candace knew what Don was doing. So no.
Yeah. Well, I want to find. I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm pretty. I don't know. Gosh, for so long I thought that she was sold to a drug dealer. I mean, it's the same. It's the same, but just slightly different in my eyes, because I feel like she was sold for a drug debt still, and also because CPS.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think that was the catalyst. Uh, but maybe you're right. Yeah, I could see. Maybe she was sold to a black market or gray market adoption ring, like you say. Uh, wow, they could all probably be a part of. That's probably where freaking Rose Bly went too. Maybe. No, I doubt Rose Bly. I don't know. Rose Bly probably was trafficked. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
You're I do see. I would have, the reason I might have read something about this from you before, but at that time I didn't know about the Thompsons and like.
well, my point here is this, okay? I'm not saying that that couldn't possibly be taking place. Okay? There's quite a few little pods, if you will, all throughout Tennessee that are doing that. They're right off of 95, okay? And that's where they run them up and down.
Yeah.
The church decided to do a favor, okay,
Yeah, but this whole
for
thing at the Thompsons is connected to a church too. We need to find
for
out what church it is. I'm
right.
thinking Fred said that Hope House thing. He goes, that sounds really familiar. So I haven't had a chance to look into this. I'm going to look into it more and more and more, because it definitely. Okay, keep going. I
Right.
hardly ever hardly. I'm telling you, about every great once in a while do I ever get something actually that I really believe.
Mm-hmm.
I never ever.
Right.
So I mean, it means a lot that I believe this, because I don't just like believe stuff out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, the SDA, they do their international adoption.
Mm-hmm.
That is very questionable, and that should be looked into.
Yep.
The kids that they are bringing into the United States. Okay?
I bet.
So, if you're shipping them in, you're shipping them out. All right? That has been going on for a while. Them doing a favor for the Wells accidentally put them in the spotlight. They didn't mean to go into the spotlight. Okay? They were
Well,
just doing a favor for Don and Candace. And it caused some people to start looking into them. And in my opinion, I think that's what Ronnie Lawson is trying to cover up. because
Yeah.
he knows that these children are coming in and that they are questionable.
Ronnie's lost son is a part of similar stuff. Fred told me, like, he's connected to the Thompsons too, and all that, in this group of people who have these students. I mean, have these kids from different countries all over the world. It's not just Norway, or it wasn't just, they just had an exchange student that was Indian looking. They have kids twice a year that from all over the world that come out there, I guess.
Right,
I don't understand. Who knows? And they just walk them up and down the holler, like they don't. So it makes you wonder, like, and pretty much all those people back in the hall, a lot of those people back there are part of it, like the Redmonds and Thompsons and the Bernards. All of them
right,
back there know about this, either adoption ring or whatever, trafficking, whatever's going on. They're all part of it.
right.
So I that girl
True.
that Thompson's had as an exchange student, she used to go down to the Redmonds, um, and hang out. And she was only like, I don't know, she was underage, and like Redmond's a very
Mm-hmm.
questionable character. And he
Right,
used to take all those kids out on hay rides and stuff like that. So I'm telling you, there's a lot of people back there it's all connected. They're all connected to whatever happened to Summer. And it's very, very
right.
possible it could be, they could all be making money on some kind of children adoption scam thing. They could
Yep,
be, like you said, they could be pickers or whatever. They could be part of finding children, uh, and getting a cut of money. You know,
yep.
there's a lot of money when people want kids. They'll pay a lot of money.
Right. But if you do like the gray adoption, like I said, you're
Mm-hmm.
bypassing lawyers, judges, fees that you have to pay. Okay. And it's a much easier, smoother thing. All right.
Yeah.
Um, think about the church. Now, that church doesn't look too big, maybe 200 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went there one time for service.
And then people there, a lot of them are very poor. I'm not picking. Okay. And a lot of them are just, what they call them, blue collar. They
Mm-hmm.
make enough to survive. Okay. They ain't rich. They ain't poor. So where does the church get their money? Okay. Ziggy going there and going to church and putting $10 in the basket, or, a 20 here and there. They may clear enough to pay their utilities or whatnot, not be buying property and building buildings on it. They're getting their money through the adoption crap and the Hope House crap. Okay? Hope House, where young girls, teens, unmarried young ladies who are pregnant go there to have be taken care of. They get free housing, free food, free medical, free delivery, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's free.
And so
How
they
many?
adopt.
How
And
many of them women got to walk out the door with their baby,
right.
or got conned into signing over their baby so it could be sold through the SDA adoption? They get
Mm-hmm.
a cut.
And then they think,
Everybody's
what, and then they can make it seem like they're doing something good. Oh, well, we saved her from sex abuse or whatever. Or I just have a feeling Don went to the church and freaking said that he was molesting Summer and felt really, was crying to him, and like he wants to be forgiven. I could just see it. I could just picture it in my mind, and I could just picture the church like being like, you know, like
Oh, well, when Don come out with his angel told him,
yeah,
okay, that was that was because of my letter I sent to him. Is when he came out and started talking angel bullshit. All right,
wow,
Summer, and he's always talked bad about these psychic mediums that come to him, right?
right,
Make fun of him, and that's why I was a little leery about writing him because I knew how he felt about stuff like that, you know. And I was
yeah.
afraid to open the letter that he sent me. I let it sit there for about 2, 3 days before I opened it because I was afraid he's going to cuss me out. And but he has never. Anytime I got on YouTube, I've been on YouTube 4 times. Okay, and that's just to get people to listen.
Yeah.
And of course, nobody did. Every time I done that, he would get on YouTube and he would make a video and sit there and read his Bible and talk about God every time. And I was like, go ahead, Don.
Yeah, he thinks he's going to be saved by God just by reading his Bible, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh that's what he thinks. So he feels bad. That's why I told people they need to play on his religion to get the truth. That's the
Mm-hmm.
way to tell the truth is play that, you know, he'll never see Summer again in the resurrection if he's not honest, stuff like that. Like he's so sure he's going to see her again in the resurrection or whatever.
Well,
Um
like I told you, Don is a narcissist with a little bit of other crap thrown in. Okay,
mhm.
I recognized them. I know how they talk, and they
How
will
did you
use.
write him? Or I'm sorry for
Huh?
interrupting, but like, how did you also tell me how you like what you said in the letter to like? I mean, obviously, you probably didn't straight up accuse him of being a part of the church or being a part of the adoption with the church, did you? Or did you just? How did you bring that up? Because I mean, he's very defensive about his church, so I'm just curious.
Well, I asked him if he felt that the people he trusted the most, like his church, was involved without him and Candace knowledge, and he never answered me. Okay. Uh, I don't know. I just
Yeah, something
that
like that. Yeah, that makes sense.
that
Yeah,
man.
'cause
But he uses words that can be taken 1 or 2 ways. Okay. Don will say something like, "I'll see her in the resurrection," knowing people are going to say, "Oh my God, she's perfect." That's because when in reality, he knows in this life because of where she's at. The chances of her coming back here or to Tennessee, I don't live in Tennessee, are very slim to
mhm,
none. Unless she gets older and remembers and decides she wants to come home, you know, which I don't see that taking
right.
place, but I'll see her in the resurrection, and I had to sacrifice my daughter. Shock effect. Everybody's going to take that as, oh my God, he's admitting he sacrificed her on the altar. Reverend Donna Serafina was right. Oh, please, give me a break. That's not what he meant. He knew
Right.
exactly what he was saying. He had to sacrifice her for his past wrongs.
Yeah,
He
that's why I think
admitted,
that's why. Yeah,
it was his fault. All of it was his fault. And if you paid attention to the people sitting behind him in the church, ain't none of them would look up at him. They would not look up at him. They knew. They knew what happened. I'm telling you, that church is involved.
yeah. They did shut down that church and investigate it for I think a weekend or something. I found that out when I was out there. I had no idea that they did that, or it was like a week or something that they shut it down or something. So I wonder if they were looking into the adoption thing
Huh?
and didn't get anywhere.
I don't
Surely
know.
they've looked into that. Surely they have, but I want to send them. I wonder if they know about Thompson's connection to that type of stuff. And that's why I'm tempted to email them. I don't know. I might just email them just to, I've only emailed, people think I've only emailed them like 6 or so times before. That's the only way I contact them is email them.
I'll tell you what I did about a month ago. It's been about a month, 3 weeks. Maybe. Story came out of Cash Patel. You know who Cash Patel is?
Uh,
Under Trump.
oh, what happened?
His name's Cash
I don't,
Patel. He's an Indian looking guy.
oh, yeah. Did he get in trouble for trafficking or something?
Right. He's the head guy for the FBI. They came out
Oh,
with a story of him where he came to Tennessee and was looking into the TBI and how they worked and all this stuff. Well, I wrote
mm-hmm.
him a letter. I sent him an email and I said, I don't know what your takeaway was after visiting the TBI in Tennessee. I said, but I think you need to reevaluate it, understand what's going on down there. And I let them know about these cases in Tennessee. Summer Wells, Sebastian
Yeah.
Rogers, Holland Snap, all these kids. And I named all these kids. And I said, none of these children have been found. None. There is a problem here.
Yep.
I said, years old.
Yep.
Nothing going on in Tennessee of
I know.
trafficking of children,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to look into it. Now, I came across somebody just the other day in a comment section of a video, and they came out and they said that the district attorney in Hawkins, right? I forget
Yeah.
what his name is. Chubby guy with glasses. Supposedly said
Ian
that,
Armstrong.
yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's him.
Yeah, I
That's
wouldn't be surprised if he's not involved in this ring. But
that,
anyways, but
that supposedly they were looking into the church. And I said, it's about goddamn time. Because that's where I'm at from the very beginning is
yeah,
that church. And nobody will pay attention to me. I said if they did their homework and just for a minute, put aside everything that you've been following. Like I said, every time somebody would start to gravitate to the church, all of a sudden, this other suspicious person would be thrown out in the middle of the road and everybody would go run to him. Every time. And it's being done on purpose.
Yep, I believe that. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna talk. I'm definitely gonna talk about it. I don't know. I mean, if I mean, I told everybody I got an email that of something I thought was interesting that kind of fit. So people know it's some. I mean, I don't have to put your name out there or anything. But it's just it. Can I share the letter if I cover up your name and stuff? Have you put it out there before?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that last part?
I said, did you have you shared the letter before? Do you care if I share it? If I cover your name and stuff?
No, I don't care. But you can use my Ivy's mom name. Don't put my real name out there.
Right. No, I wouldn't.
If you want me to talk to you about it on the YouTube, I'll be more than happy to do so. Like I said, I've already been out there before, but
Okay.
nobody believes, nobody wants to listen. My question, have you found her yet? No, you did not. And I told you you weren't going to because you're not looking in the right place.
Yeah. Well, I want to put it out there and see how certain people react first. And I'm just going to talk about it a little bit. I'm just going to talk about how, I kind of started thinking about a possible new, I got this email and it's got me kind of thinking about a new, and possibly a new, kind of different. To me, it's still the same. It fits everything except it's a different person that Summer was handed off to.
Right.
I still feel, like I said, I still feel like there's a drug debt. I
Right.
feel like,
Well, like you're
I
talking.
know he was down there and worried about a drug debt 2 months later, and he was worried about the boys, so it's like,
You're talking
so
about the Thompsons, okay?
yeah.
Now, are they affiliated with the
Yeah, it's
church?
affiliated with I we need to find out. That's what we're going to find out. It is a group. We're going to try to find out if it's the Hope House or which church it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
now
looking into
this
that.
is
I have somebody that's really good at researching because I don't have as much time, and they're very secretive people. Them and the Redmonds, like you can't hardly find anything about these people, and they go by different names too. They're very, very secretive. Like he goes by Jim, but his real name's like Ed. It's weird.
yeah.
So, and they're connected to Redmonds, connected to Andy Bernard. It is connected to some kind of church or something, but we need to find
Now,
out.
right.
It doesn't, but maybe, huh?
All these churches are, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, you think they're connected?
David
Oh,
Dotson, David Dotson's into the picture to the SDA in March. Okay. June the 6th or whatever, he becomes a member. Summer disappears the 15th of June, and by the end of June, David Dotson hauls ass and leaves.
we need to check. Doesn't he kind of look Norwegian?
Huh?
Doesn't he kind of look Norwegian? He looks like he
No,
would be from Norway or something.
I don't think he's from Norway, but that doesn't mean that somebody affiliated with, I think he was Baptist, okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that somebody affiliated with the Baptist church wanted to adopt and reached out to David Dotson's church. Okay, we want to adopt. We have a church here in Norway, and so we're going to reach out to our brother churches in the United States. Is there any children to be adopted? And David Dotson says, oh, well, we don't adopt here, but I have a friend, Robin, and her church, the SDA, do adoptions. Let me get with her. So
Mm-hmm.
they say, okay, I got the perfect child. David comes into the church to keep everybody in the congregation from figuring out or knowing why he's there. He comes in as wanting to check the church out. Then he joins the church to become a member to make it look good. He's
Mm-hmm.
he's in there, he's around summer. Okay? The people may have very well have been come and stayed in Tennessee for a time to spend time around the summer and the wells so they would get to know each other. Do you understand? That picture, the
Yeah.
picture of Summer sitting with Robin in the church and David Dotson's waving to her.
Yeah.
I want to know who the man is sitting there that they have raced out his face.
Hmm.
Okay? I want to know who that man is.
They scratched out
Because,
his face.
huh?
Somebody scratched out his face in the picture.
Yeah, yes. Every time that picture's shown, his face is blacked out. And he's
I'm
sitting next to somebody. I believe it's a woman.
okay. I'm gonna have to see. I'm gonna find that picture because I've been to that church, and I might be able to recognize, but by I don't know, only once. So I don't know. I'd like to. I don't remember seeing a blackout face,
Yeah,
but
every time it's shown, his face is always blacked out. And I'm like, why do they keep doing that? Who is that man? So David comes, he induces these people to the wells and to Summer so they get to know each other a little bit. You know, the deed is 15th comes, the deed is done. David Dotson leaves. His work there is done. I could be wrong, but he is too old up in age to be hopping churches. Okay? Usually people in his age group are settled in their faith.
I want to know. Have you ever? I looked into him, like wondering because he got married shortly after.
Right.
Uh,
He left there and they tried to say, oh, he met a girl and they got married. Bullshit. No,
oh,
no,
you
no,
haven't
no,
seen the
no.
pictures? There's pictures
Huh.
out there. There's pictures out there, and she looks like a kid in a way,
Yeah.
which is also creepy.
Yeah, she
Uh,
does.
she's little, like little framed like a child. Um, but still, I mean, I still wondered, did they, want a child together because they were too old? You know what I mean? Like, I thought that. Um, I thought that somebody, I've thought the adoption thing big time. Like, I wondered if, like, she could have been, somebody could have paid big money just to have a child.
Yeah.
Blonde hair, blue eyes are big money, and especially those Indian countries like you're talking about, Sri Lanka.
Hmm.
So,
Now, do you remember that picture of Summer? She's standing at the water holding a fishing pole. She's
yeah,
got on a white shirt and like turquoise shorts.
yeah,
Her her head is shaved there too,
yep,
and it's grown out a little bit. But
yep.
I could be wrong, but she looks like she's younger than that picture than the rest of them. So I'm wondering if this transaction was supposed to take place earlier
Hmm.
and COVID hit and nobody was able to travel.
Oh, yeah.
You understand? That
Yeah.
maybe she was 4 years old when they were supposed to take her, and they couldn't get her because traveling was stopped because
Right.
of COVID.
Yeah, because she was, let's see, she would have been born in 2016, and COVID, I think, hit in 2019, right? And yeah, it would have been 2019, and so in 20 that it would have been a lot of restrictions. Um, well, I have a lot of research to do, so I guess I'm going to get off here and start looking because I want to see what else I can find. I want to find more on this adoption, and I am going to um uh message. I don't even have to tell, like, email. I don't even have to mention you to law enforcement if you don't want me to, but like, because I think just that whole weird adoption or that weird stuff over at Thompson's is weird enough to look
Right.
into possible adoption stuff. And um
But the video that I seen of yours, okay,
yeah.
and like I'm hard of hearing, and I scanned it to where Don came because it came out the November 26th or the 29th of November 2021, and it was titled "Phone Call with Don," pointing the finger at Dudley or accusing Dudley, something like that. It happened right after Dudley's interview with Molly Golightly and them. Okay, is
Mm-hmm.
when your video came out. It was the 26th or the 29th, and it was titled "Phone Call with Don," pointing the finger at Dudley.
Okay.
And I couldn't believe what I heard. I thought I misunderstood. I never knew there was an also Norway. I didn't know nothing about Norway, you know. And I actually came across another YouTube creator, and I went looking for their videos too. I don't think they're on YouTube anymore. They used to have what do you call it, thumbnail? Their picture was
Mm-hmm.
of the scales, and it had rainbow colors on it, and it was letters like JTC something. I don't know.
Mm.
And
Oh, but
they were talking about your video, and they said it too about Don bringing up this guy that came to work from also Norway. And I was like, I know, obviously I didn't make a mistake, and it was printing out. My closed caption was on, so I know it was said. And when I went back trying to find that damn video, I couldn't find the other creator at all. They're not on there no more. And I couldn't find your video. And I was like, why isn't this in my saved things, my history? And that's when I tried to reach out to you. And you were having issues at the time, and you got off of YouTube for a while. And
uh,
to ask you if you still had that video because I couldn't find it on your page.
hmm. I wonder, because I'm looking and I just don't see it, even on pub or privated. Um, I'm wondering, November 29th. Here's one, but it says Jody Sue. It says what, and it's private. It says what's really going on. Guest Jody Sue. Was Jody Sue a guest?
No, I be honest with you, I didn't watch your whole video because at that time you did marathons and I can't do marathons. So I scrolled up to where Don came on the phone.
Okay.
So I couldn't tell you who else was on there or not.
I see Jody Sue. There's freaking Skanky Jenna. It's an 8-hour live. Because I'm just wondering if if it was somebody else's. Somebody with a kid in their house, like, oh, who? I don't know. Bush, that was not even.
Explain that she's the one that comes up with all these, like, she said Candace wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait, hold on. Is that.
Call his wife because he already said that she told him not to talk.
Did you take any of your videos down?
No, I'm looking at this one. This one was private.
Oh, it's been a while.
Okay. Hey, Don.
I mean, we had the 911 calls on our phones.
I'm also writing down people's questions. Yeah, I wiped them out. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Don.
I don't know why, but.
Your wife messaged me and said that you was at home in a 3 o'clock hour and have that as evidence. She did not want nobody to know you was at home.
I'm gonna have to look and see if I can find it.
Yeah, I'll try digging back in mine again, but I can't.
I unprivated a video or a live that was from November 29th. I don't know why I had it privated, but it doesn't say Dudley on it. But yeah, I can't find one that says something about Dudley. And I searched my whole channel. I mean, there's a Sweetie, let's go over Sweetie Pie Lowe's call with Dudley. I have that one. But that's not it. That can't be it. Because you said it was
I think her call with Dudley happened first. And then they met with him at the restaurant. And after that is when you put out your video, phone call with Don, pointing finger at Dudley. Or accusing Dudley, something like that.
Okay.
And I remember it was like the 26th or the 29th of November. It was New Year's Eve that I watched it because I don't watch TV. And I thought, Christ, there ain't going to be nothing on YouTube. It's a holiday. Everybody's out celebrating. So I started going through videos that I hadn't seen. And yours caught my attention because of the way it was, the heading of it. Phone call with Don. Accusing Dudley. And I thought, well, I'll watch this. And you know, you talked for a little while, and I was like, I can't sit and listen to all this. So I scrolled up to where Don came on the phone. And he said, Dudley did it. He hates me. He's a meth head. They're all meth heads at my job. It got so bad that Tucker actually hired a man from also Norway. And I about fell off my bed. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I could not believe it.
Yeah.
You know, and then I started getting burnt out from it all. Okay. And when Don got out of jail, now this was on a click, what you call a click channel. Put this out, and I can't remember which one it was because I do watch a lot of them. put the thing out of Don. He was drunk. I don't know whose video he was originally on, but it was a clip channel that put this out. Don was drunk, ranting and raving, pissed off, and somebody said something to him about Summer, and he
Wait, what was it?
he said that about his daughter.
What did he say? You
And
cut out. It cut out when you.
I said, he said, Summer is in hell, right? Everybody flipped out about it. How can he say that about his daughter? Well, at that point in time, I was burnt out. And, I would just occasionally look in and listen to stuff. But I was just totally burnt out about it all. And I believe it was in the summertime when this came out. Evidently, it would have been what? Let me see. 2022 is when he went to jails. 2023 when he got out. And it was in the summertime when I heard it. I don't know what month. And I just brushed it off.
Yeah.
And a little while went past, and I thought that was a weird thing to say. That was one of the weird things Don says. Why did I push that away? Well, I'll be honest with you. Not that I'm a fan of his, because I'm not. I got in touch with that Ryan Finds Truth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I don't really care for him. Because he put some kind of video out, and I got in touch with him, and I told him my thing, right? And he contacted me. And he said, the reason I'm contacting you is because he gave me a name of some, I don't know if the guy passes himself off as a psychic or not. He does spirit boxes, okay? He did a spirit box session of Summer. Well, no offense, but I don't believe in that.
Man,
All right? If you have an ability and they want to talk to you, they're going to talk directly to you, not through some damn box.
Right.
Okay.
Through a box.
But
I've never been able to hear through anything on those.
right. But he said, go listen to this man. He said, the reason I'm contacting you about your email to me and what you said, I want you to go listen to this man. Right? And I said, okay. As a rule, I really don't pay attention to psychics. And
He said that?
Ryan told me to
Ryan
go.
told you he doesn't pay attention to psychics?
Do what, hon?
Ryan told you he doesn't pay attention to psychics?
No. As a rule, I don't. I don't follow them on YouTube. Okay? Because
most of them are fake.
Because a lot of them are bullshit. All right? Yeah. I'm not saying all of them. A lot of them. So I don't, and they all, if you pay attention to them, they pretty much come out and say the same thing about the other one, about the other one, about the other one. So they follow each other. Okay? They repeat what somebody else said and try to make it their own. You're not a psychic. I'm sorry. Anyway, he tells me to go listen to this guy. I can't remember what the hell is paranormal something or another.
Yeah.
And he does spirit boxes, and he did a spirit box session on Summer.
Yeah.
He said, listen to what it's. Well, supposedly box and asked Summer where she was. She told him no, and it made me. And what Don said on that channel, Summers in Hell. So I went and I Googled Hell Norway, and there it was.
Wow.
There it was. Through the mountain.
Hmm.
Far away, where they are. The I wish it not fit the surroundings of Norway. Through that. And I zoomed Google Earth. My son shook. I need to get in there and see what this looks like, right? And he says, well, okay. I was like, wow, it's just.
Uh-oh.
I picked the road because I figured they flew in, okay, by plane. So I found all the way it as a thing, and I found it out like summer,
Mm-hmm.
and I found it to a and where the or whatever started out and such. And when I seen the patches of snow zoomed out, I was heading up the mountain, just like Summer said.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I tried to figure out where in Norway she was at. I went through every Ziggy. I went through every damn school, every damn church that I could find that posted pictures to see if something would show up. You know, try to zoom in on it. But then when he come out and said she's in hell, and there's Hell Norway right there.
Yeah.
He was just he was doing it. He was doing it as a shock effect. Okay, to piss
Yeah.
people off. He likes to piss people off. But I'm telling you, that's where she's at.
All right. Well, let me look.
And when they put up that light simulator, Northern Lights, I was like, oh my God, won't people please? They're telling on themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm reading the Tim Mullins dad's like I'm looking into the church his dad's from to see if they have anything to do if they have any type of adoption services. See if they do anything like that. I want to see if his all right. Let's see. Programs offered by food assistance. Well, let me look into some things. I have a lot to look into.
Okay.
I'll text you before I put anything out. I want to see if I can find more connections with these people.
Well,
With
You know, you
And I'm
handle
gonna.
it the way you want. Just don't give my real name. That's all I
Mhm.
ask. Don't give my real name. You can say what I said. It don't matter to me. Okay, I have nothing to hide.
Right. I won't. I mean, let's see. Or yeah. Well, let me look into this stuff because I'm really interested. So I'll let you know what I find. What else I find.
Okay.
And I'll let you know when I email law enforcement and stuff. And because I just want to mention, just in case, for them to look into the Thompsons and their ties to any adoption agencies or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if they know who I am, so like I didn't even have to tell them. They knew when they called me back.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I knew who you were. I was like, okay, well,
All
well,
right.
thank you so much for talking to me.
I thank you for
I have a
getting in
lot to
touch with
think on.
me.
I have a lot to think on, a lot to look into. I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate it. Really do. I hope that this will lead to answers. I really do. I really hope so. We'll see how they react once I start talking about this. This should be funny. I like to see their reactions just to see, to gauge like if it's hitting a nerve.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll talk about it
Are you
tomorrow.
going on tonight?
No, not tonight. It's already 9. I no, I can't tonight. I want to prepare a little bit better. Probably
Okay.
tomorrow to
I
talk
just
about
don't
it.
want to miss you.
Okay, I'll text you and let you know.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll talk
So,
to you later. And I want to talk to. I
all
haven't even had a
right.
chance to really talk to Fred about it either. He's fishing right
Uh-huh.
now.
Yeah.
So I
All
wanted
right.
to read
Well,
your
thank you
letter
for
to
talking
him.
to me.
Yeah, of
I'm sorry.
course. I wanted to read
Oh,
your letter to
is it
him.
blur? Is it blurry? Do you need me to send it again?
Oh, no. You're good. I was talking about your letter that you sent me.
Yeah.
And I need to read that one too, Don's one. Even though it's probably just like a bunch of Bible quotes.
Mm.
But anyways, thank you so much. I'll keep in touch
Okay.
I'll keep in touch and let you know what and
Yes, please
what I tell
do.
law enforcement.
Okay.